Hey, what's going on, guys? Tony here, CCxRC, and today I'm going to show you how to bind the Tactic radio instead of the Spektrum radio that comes with the new Mega series. I have the Typhon, but it'll work with the other ones, as well as the BLX. So the V3 of these 4x4 series, you can bind the Tactic radios to, and vice versa. You could do this to the Tactic receiver. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how that's done. And it's pretty easy. You will need to supply your own bind plug because these don't come with them, or at least mine didn't. So it's pretty easy to get in there and do this, so let me show you how. First thing that I'm going to have to do is add batteries to this controller because it doesn't have any. This is an old one I have that's not bound to anything. Alright, so now that I've got power to this, the first thing we're going to do is get to our receiver in here. We have to remove a couple of screws here. It's a 2mm screw. We take off the ESC here. Should allow this to pop up. There we go. All right, so removing those two screws allows us to take off the ESC, which then allows us to take off this little plate that was there. And we can now see the SLR 300 that's in here, and the bind plug goes in this very bottom one. It says bind. Alright, so we're going to put our bind plug in. Once we have that done, we're going to go ahead and power on the car. And it is flashing. The light is in there flashing. It's hard to see. There it is. And now we know it's in bind mode. And so all you have to do with the Tactic radio to get it to bind is to simply just turn it on. So there you can see it's turned on. We have the red light and an operational Tactic radio with the Spektrum receiver. That is pretty cool. So if you wanted to go back to the old one, make sure you have everything off. You decide that you want to go back to this one because it does have more features. And all that we have to do is the same thing. When we turn it on, the bind plug is still in. We're going to turn on the ESC. We have the flashing on the receiver in there. See the flashing red lights in there? So it is ready to bind, and all we have to do now is turn on, with the little button on the back, the radio, and it automatically binds. That simple, guys. They have made this really easy for you. If you want to switch back to your Tactic setup that you're so fond of, you can do that. Again, the only thing that I would say with this is that it's missing some features. So this one now has the rocker, like this has the two buttons. This only has steering dual rates, throttle trim, and steering trim. And then it has your reverses on the back. This one also has the throttle limit on there if you want to be able to limit the throttle for new people to try it or whatever. But both of them work on here just great. You can see I've got it driving. So now that we're done, we do want to remove the bind plug because we don't want it to be looking for radios every time that we turn it on, because it might bind to somebody else's that happens to have their radio nearby and on. And then we're going to go ahead and line these back up, put our two screws back in. And it couldn't be any easier, guys. Super duper simple. That's the first in our little tutorials here for the Mega series. Alrighty, guys, there you have it. Now you can run your vehicle with either the Tactic radio or the included SLT3 by Spektrum. They've gone leaps and bounds with this. In fact, the technology being able to share between them is pretty fantastic as well. So hats off to them for updating these with better tech for you to be able to drive them, more responsive as well. So all around, lots of options for you guys. I think it's cool that they've done that. So you make the choice. Which one do you like better? I'm sticking with the SLT3. The runs that I've done with it so far have been awesome. When we move this to brushless, we'll definitely see how it's handling and doing. I do like the ability, though, to set the throttle back, and my kids like it as well. They set theirs back on their Sentins all the time. So we'll see about maybe moving them up to these SLT3s on those in the future, so that they can have that type of response that these do get. Anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in. As always, have fun RCing, and we'll catch you in the next video.